Why it is dangerous to let people get into your head as a beginning entrepreneur. The first one is limited perspective. You need to understand one thing. People who don't understand your vision are mostly people who will tell you what to do about your vision. Think about it. Look at your friends or look at people around you. People who always have something to criticize about what you're doing. These people are not making things better for you. They only know how to criticize what you're doing. And guess what? Most of the times, they are not doing anything for themselves. So all the time they spend is to let you know what you're doing wrong. Stay away from people like that. They have limited perspective on what you do. Now, that's just one category of people. The next is people who support you, but then they just don't get what you're doing really well. And both can be very dangerous because if they don't know what you're doing really well, and guess what? If they are close to you, you tend to get influenced by certain things that they say. If your mom or dad or your sister isn't in a particular type of niche or business, or she doesn't have a lot of knowledge in that particular business, you are doing yourself a disservice going to her for business advice. Going to her for business advice, she's only going to tell you things from her perspective, and that can gear you off your track to your success. There's a seminar that I listened to by Jim, and he had something to say about if someone puts sugar in your coffee, would it kill you? No. If the same person puts strychnine, and strychnine, I think it's rat poison or something like that. If your mom or your dad puts that in your coffee, guess what is going to happen? It's still going to kill you. So since that is still going to kill you, it doesn't matter who puts the poison in your coffee. These people can mean well for you, but then they just don't understand what you're doing really well. You need to be careful about people with limited perspective on what you do. The next point is risk aversion. And these are people who are not used to taking risks a lot. Entrepreneurship is about taking risks almost all the time. If you let these people talk into your head, it's going to stop you from taking the right action that you're supposed to take. There's a post that I put on Instagram some time back. It goes like, you don't win by simply doing your best. You win by doing what's required. And sometimes what's required is greater than your best. So it's up to you to focus on making your best get better. Because what got you here is not going to get you there. So you need to make some little shifts. So focus more on making your best get better. And things can change for you. So what that means is these people, they mean well for you. They don't want you to fail. They don't want you to take so much risk. They want you to take calculated risk. They don't want you to end up spending so much money into investing into a business that maybe can fail. But guess what? You need to do more research on what you're doing, which is you need to do what is best for your niche, not what people think is best for your niche. What you can do is you need to connect with fellow entrepreneurs, get into groups that have the same goal as you. I'm into coaching, and one of the things I do is I invest in going for seminars. One of the most recent seminars I went to is in Tampa, Florida. Guess what? When I went there, I went to meet like-minded people. And meeting like-minded people, you now feel comfortable. You feel like you are in your space. You don't feel left out.
All the way back up. Go give it up for the hold me accountable for actually doing it, going through having the online presence, having the social media presence, having multiple offers. Hold me accountable for I will have my first $100,000 month by the time we're back here. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. For me, by the time I'm back here, I should have 1,000 videos uploaded on Instagram. 1,000 videos. I'm at 57. Yeah.
Oh,
What's your goal?
I'm gonna make a huge audience. I'm gonna have so many network people promoting my products for me. And I don't make any money right now, but it's gonna be a whole lot more than this today. Next year is gonna be a lot more.
And, all right.
So next year, I'll be doing VIP, of course. I'll have at least 3 offers. So 2 core offers and one premium offer. And I'll be making $100,000 monthly recurring revenue by next year.
From your industry, your business, and your brand, your competition goes 1, 2, 3.
You have to do to believe you can make like millions of dollars?
For one, you gotta already identify that at a young age. You already believe that you were somebody, right? Like we believe that we were a superhero. We believe this and that. All we have to do is take that childhood belief and make it our adulthood belief, right? I believe that I'm successful enough to make anything that I want happen in this reality, and that's exactly what I did. I did it in a fast period of time, and I know that you can do it in a fast period of time. You just have to bring that childhood ability to believe into your adulthood. And watch what happens.
Thanks, Papi. No problem. That is what I mean by get around like-minded people. These people don't feel like what you're doing is weird. They understand the business. And this can help you with your mindset and help you learn so much about the business than spending time with people who don't get what you're doing. And guess what? Sometimes it could be your family. They don't get what you're doing. If you spend so much time talking to them about what you're doing, they can discourage you. Not because they don't love you, but they just don't get it. I hope you got that. They just don't get it. Now, the third point is lack of creativity. People who don't share the same vision as you are mostly below your creative level or your creative ability. If both of you are given the same tools, they will probably end up with different results than you will. And this is because they are operating on a different level of creativity than you are. I listened to one of Jim Rohn's seminars, and he said something like, if they are to share an equal amount of money all over the world, it will eventually end up in the same pockets. This is why, because some people know what to do with the money, others don't. And mostly, rich people know what to do to get more money. So even if we are to share an equal amount of money for everybody, it will still end up in the same pocket. Because people with broke mindsets, they only know how to spend, not to produce for people to buy. Rich people know what to do to make more money. They are consumers and producers. Rich people will focus on producing, and poor mindsets will focus on consuming. And they will end up where they began. Their investments will always end up coming to their level of thinking. So what you can do is get into groups that can help you grow your mindset. Get interested, listen to podcasts. You can listen to podcasts of people who are in your niche, so you can get more information on things that surround your target market. Last but one is the reason why you don't need to listen to these people is people have different goals. Some people have goals for you that you never knew of. Some people want you to be this type of person. For example, there's a child growing up who wants to be a pilot. But then guess what? His environment is full of people who are doctors, and therefore his mom wants him to be a doctor. And this level of pressure can let a child get into medicine when this is not what they really want to do with their lives. The child has their goal and the mom has their goal for the child. You need to be able to depict the differences between what goals people have for you and what goal you have for yourself. There's a need for clarity in that aspect. What goals do I have for myself? You need to sit down and think of the goals for yourself, not the goals of others for you. Final one, I'll add one more, but the final one is early stage challenges. Listen, every single thing that you decide to start in this world is going to be challenging when you start. Never think going through challenges is the right time to just say, I don't want to do it anymore. No, you need to keep going, stick to it. Work is either working for you or working on you. If the work is not producing the results you want, guess what? The work is working on you until you become the person it works for. You don't stop 3 feet from gold. You eventually reap what you've sown. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 to 10 says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. If we faint not, guess what? What that means is, if you faint, you never get to reap. You never get to see the results of why you even started. You never get to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Any great thing you start will have challenges. And I always say this, disruption follows intention. The greater the intention you have for something, the greater the disruption. Even in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, it says what? Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 says, in the beginning God created the heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So what that means is disruption even followed intention for God. And if you are made in His image, guess what? The same thing will happen to us whenever we have an intention to do something. The greater the intention, the greater the disruption. The last one is, see, people are just jealous. People are just jealous of you. They just don't want you to win. Some people will pretend they want you to win, but when you win, they now feel the regret of not taking their goals seriously. Some people will say things to just pull you down so that it justifies their conclusions in their head about your goal. You don't need to listen to these people. I call these people dream finessers. Put it in the comment section. What are some of the things that these dream finessers do that we need to be careful about? And let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. My name is Samuel Lai, and I'll catch you guys on another video. Let's go.